Don't laugh. I take this very seriously. Don't laugh. I know what you're thinking. Go ahead and laugh. This is it, my friends. We don't want to blow these, but it's so obnoxious. This thing even work? Here we go. See, it's too
loud for children and dogs.
Kids don't like them.
No,
dogs.
No, leave it.
Anyway. Didn't we?
Happy New Year's Eve.
This
is it.
We made it, kids.
We made it.
We did it 5 hours ago. What a year. Thanks to all of us. Yeah. We made it. Cut Up Chatter says, Sweet 25, setting off for the next year, the next hour, hoping forward accepts my coming on the jagged wheel with a flexible step. Only my best to be added. Never summing. Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Dear friends, we are
I'm ready to go. 25.
Ready to go. This is our year. This is our year. We got our official. Your glasses are far more subtle.
I'll tell you why. Because I had a pair like that, I think, last year, and they blinded me. I couldn't see out of them.
Because technically,
I can see out of these.
Right, but this is really 20,025. Oops.
No.
Well, see, 20025. That's yours. So yours is like 20,000. So we can hang on to those for the next whatever.
Or we can just take the 5 off and add a 6.
Mine is 2020. We got this, of course, at our neighborhood
small store souvenir shop to support him.
And it's 50 degrees. People are already going crazy in New York City. It's supposed to rain. They say midnight. We are nowhere near. We had Mrs. Almaid tonight. So help me God. She's probably thinking, this is the most ridiculous thing in the world. You keep talking about it. She made a lasagna tonight. Meatless with non-dairy.
Delish.
Cheese. Ricotta, spaghetti. Victoria's spaghetti sauce. On the best there is, that white linen stuff. It was superb. I defy anyone to not fall in love with that.
It's delicious, right?
Nothing heavy tonight, my friends.
Not on New Year's.
Pilgrim says, what's the urinal situation in Times Square? Urinals? None.
They suggest you wear a diaper. And once they open the gates, which I think began at around 2 p.m.
open the gates.
You cannot, they let you single file into the area for Times Square.
That's right.
Which I think is 1 or 2 p.m. You are not allowed to leave that area. You're in there with your diaper.
As we say in West Tampa, que se la mama. Tony Dash from DoorDash says, you both look great. Happy New Year. Thank you, Tony.
Happy New Year, Tony.
Thank you, TD. What a time. What a time. What a year. This is going to be the best time ever with the best president ever. We did it. And we're just going to have fun tonight. And we're going to thank you because we did it. We did it. We did it. We fought those bastards tooth and nail. We sat here. Remember election night, 6 hours. You were getting the worried look. I
was monitoring the precincts that 6.5 hours, and a couple of states that closed several hours prior were not giving their final tally. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is what they're waiting for, to pull something off at the last minute. So that is why I had that stomach ache all night.
Yes.
But I want to say we need to thank the American public who really spoke.
Absolutely.
And probably spoke even more than we know about. But that's my 2 cents.
I saw somebody mention my good friend Anthony Cumia. What was this? I saw it and I missed it.
Or take your time.
I missed it. Just keep talking, honey. I'll try to figure this out.
Okay.
This is not the best way to see through glasses and
if you need your others glasses.
No, I'm not going to ruin. I'm not going to break. I'm not going to break kayfabe.
But no, I left very early, as you know, this morning. I had an appointment, a meeting, and so it was at 8 a.m. and the streets were eerily quiet.
Yes.
Eerily, because when walking across town, one usually sees the coffee shops. Yes. People, especially New Year's Day, the tourists always get up early, right? You'll see them on the streets on 6th, 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue. there was nobody around. And I thought, this is a little bizarre. Usually you see them having breakfast and strolling towards Times Square. This is before they close anything down. And then when I returned around close to 1 p.m., it was everything closed down. Walk this way. But everything was very orderly. So I want people who to understand something. Although you hear, and there are these horror stories that come out of New York City. Honey, I'm telling you.
Somebody asked, where's a vampire? Just sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it was very nice on the streets. People were setting up their tables to sell glasses and hats.
Yes.
And it was just a good feeling. And you know what? The streets are packed with a lot of tourists. And
yes.
I, for one, am so happy. Even if they block me from crossing the street, I always say to you, what if you came from like a cornfield or a farm? Of course, you're going to stop and stare and look up at the sky at all these skyscrapers. Go ahead. Have at it, tourists. So I am so happy after the last few years to see all these people flooding the city. And I really notice a lot of people from Italy and France because I see the way they dress, which is different from here. And I also hear them talking.
Yes. Well, that gives it away. And you can always sell the sneakers, the trainers, and the glasses. Our good friend Carla, the hardest woman to reach on the phone, by the way, says, Happy New Year from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Wishing everyone a happy new year filled with hope, joy, and endless possibilities. Here's to great things ahead for all in 2025. About to pop the first champagne. Cheers to all of us, indeed.
Go, and Carla, go.
New Mexico is the place. How long have I been talking about? Taos and George O'Keeffe.
You've been wanting to go there.
That's what I just,
it's on our agenda.
For some reason, it is calling me.
Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. 25 is our year. We're going to do it.
Yeah, so please. And also, remember, if you're going to be home and you're not going to be driving, knock it out of the park. Let's face it. Get gooned. It's okay. You've earned it. Carla, you've earned it. We've all earned it. Look what we've been through. Don't
remind
No,
us.
but
let us stay in the moment of 25.
What does not destroy us makes us stronger. We all of us brought together from this. It's wonderful. I'm telling you, 2025, a square, 45 squared. I've been to the numbers if you're into the numerology, but it's fantastic. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to talk about any horrors.
Well, I had a little bit of a horror. Can I tell you?
I don't know.
So I did a Lynn's Warriors live video earlier today because I had to prepare the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to just thank everybody for the wonderful 2024 and all of your donations and support and re-Xing. Is that what it's called? Or retweeting? Whatever. Facebook, just generally really empowering me to do what is a very tough job. Although I'm a warrior, you still need empowerment. Okay? Because if I really told you some of the things that we deal with, seriously, people can't handle it. And I'm not saying that to just like tease people. I'm just saying it's too much for people. So anyway, I was doing it 3:00 Eastern time, and I kept saying, well, I'm waiting for comments. Well, come on now. Tell me what you're going to do on New Year's Eve. Tell me what you think. What? And there wasn't one comment. And I thought, what is going on here? Because I could see the number of people watching. So anyway, I just want to say I hit the wrong button, everybody. I do apologize.
I hit the wrong button.
Okay, well, I didn't want to call you out, but you hit the wrong button.
I did it.
You set it up for me. So I apologize to all of you who were there because there were a lot of comments.
Absolutely.
And a lot of love. And a lot of love and a lot of support. So I apologize. I want to address if any of you are here watching this now, I want to just thank you for that. That will never happen again. Right?
Our good friend Nelson A says, call for help. I'm in a phone booth. Tap, tap, tap. Can't you hear me knocking? Open the pot door, Hal. I don't know what that means. I'm kidding,
of
course.
Is that lyrics to a
Happy New Year, Mr. and Mrs. Al. Too much health, love, and wealth in the new year. Love you.
Back at
also, may I wish to you something which we never say. May you have mental health.
Yes.
Mental health. A lot of people who would say, well, I'm in great health, but mental health. There are so many people who are so arrebatado. and shingad, as we say here in the, it's incredible. So enjoy. Remember, just don't get too
deep into stuff.
Just enjoy it. Have fun. Relax. Remember in the old days when we would have to write down a new number? Now everything. This is what you do. Every thing is digital. Everything's already changed. Except you got to say, what about this stove? We don't have a smart. Don't get smart appliances, by the way, because smart is dumb. You got to go back and that's my department. Go fix the stove. I never realized how many clocks we go fix it. Okay, this is like whenever there's I guess the year wouldn't apply, but checks. But remember the old days when you would write down you have to get the right year.
Okay, but here's what I don't understand. Some years, I would automatically be able to stay with the new year. Never had a problem. And other times, remember in school when we were kids, you had to put the date in the upper right corner, at least the nuns I went to. And I'd have the wrong year repeatedly. And especially if you used pen, which we started in 5th grade, 4th grade maybe. Yep. I'd ruin it. I have to start all over again because you couldn't really erase the big pen.
No.
But so we have it so much easier.
You had those very interesting erasers that were white and gray.
I understand.
Remember the ones that were blue and
they never really
red?
worked totally.
They never really did. And they left more lint.
I'm telling you. So I started over.
Remember the little wheel with a little brush?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that with the wheel?
That was for the typewriter.
Well, yeah.
I used to use that on the typewriter with the carbon paper.
Isn't this great? How we talk about this stuff. Look at this, Debbie. That's
what we do.
Debbie got that. That means like deep fried or crispy. That's that West Tampa kind of halal, gone. Or as Hilaria Baldwin would say,
you know what? I do not understand. I know this is not important to everybody, but
it isn't. It is important.
No,
if you want it to be.
Why is that stupid woman? That's my 2 cents. Slipping back into her Spanish accent or whatever this accent is, and pretending she doesn't know the word for onion. I don't understand. She got away with it once. She got away with it once. Right. And she's doing it again. You think
she'd say, I got away
I'll never go near that thing again. I tried that one.
It was a stupid thing. And I hope to God.
They try anything. But you see, she got a day or two's worth of in the media and people talking about it. That's all they care about.
Interestingly enough, John Fetterman went from not being able to speak with that aphasia and everything else by virtue of some TIA or something, or stroke. He went from, he was like, hey, and he couldn't read.
Well, he had a stroke, honey.
Well, I just said. I
know, but.
And then all of a sudden.
He's much smarter now.
He's better. Now, that's okay. It's not like he improved. It's like, can you tell me there have been some improvements? You know, sometimes you know somebody who's had a stroke or TIA or something. Maybe there's a little speech impediment. And they work on it and they get a little bit of it back. But you can he's better than most people. Okay, that's different. She is the only person who has the accent, loses the accent, and back to the accent.
She's a creep, no matter how you cut it. I don't like to call another woman a creep, but frankly,
Bridget Szymanski.
She is.
Let me tell you something. Also, we have discovered things that we never really thought. We like, for example, we say Hulu. I don't know. We watch. We watched Lilla. She watched all Lillehammer. I can't do it. I have to go watch police arrest videos or something. I can't.
I do the whole series.
Stick with it.
I have to do everything.
She devotes 2:00 in the morning. I hear Stevie Vai doing
It's the only time
are you
watching
this?
The Hulu. No, it's on Netflix.
The Hulu.
The Hulu.
She's talking about the Hulu.
Remember, I used to say the internet.
The internet.
The Google.
Google.
I've said that for decades now.
Well, that.
No, I have to do it complete.
Was fantastic. Okay.
Fantastic.
Then you got into, what did you watch? Oh, Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Watched all of that.
Yeah.
The new one we stumbled into.
Oh, Brothers and Sisters.
Brothers and Sisters. Oh, my God. But that was okay. But the show that was fantastic with Alec Baldwin was 30 Rock.
Now,
best
Do you
writing.
know why I started watching that?
Best writing. He played a conservative. Remember they did all kinds of Donald Trump jokes. He was the funniest. He hated Nancy Pelosi. It was. Remember Alex Keaton in Family Ties or whatever it was? He was the conservative, and he had pictures of Nixon. Alec Baldwin. I know he's a jadrol. I know that, but a great actor. Now go ahead. I'm sorry. Why did you watch that?
First of all, I want to address something. We missed a comment. I think Jerry is ill, has been ill.
Wait a minute.
Could you go back and just so we can send our love?
J-E or G-E?
G-E-R-I, so we can send Jerry.
Oh, no, just had cranial surgery on the 16th. Ouch. Cranial surgery.
Jerry.
On the cranium? Jerry, what? But you look great.
But we love you, and we're sending you. You're going to be doing so well in 25. You're going to heal up. Please fill us in. How are you doing?
Well, we're going to say, everybody send love. Send love.
Send it out to Jerry.
We'll send you some lasagna. Give us your address. We'll freeze dry it. Or not freeze dry it.
No, but everybody, seriously, send healing vibes and love.
Absolutely.
Because that's infectious. And that's what I believe.
Remember when did you ever have aunts, whatever, who had female surgery? And they never said, but I said, what does that mean? But I remember
as a kid. Talk about that.
Okay, now cranial surgery, also known as a craniotomy. This is well, bless your heart. Did they? Well, I'm not going to go into it. Anyway,
Jerry can tell us what she wants.
Jerry can tell us what she wants.
25 is Jerry's year. Everybody send the love and vibes out to Jerry.
Do it for me though. When you have something, really tell people. If you're going to go through this, if you're going to go through the pain and the discomfort and the expense and whatever, you get the right to tell people. And then they removed my brain. Embellish a little bit.
Now look at all these beautiful comments.
Look at this. See this?
We have Anne.
This is why you're
Vanessa,
beautiful.
Gracie loves George.
Look at this. This is why this healing prayer.
Yeah, Fred.
Fred's
got it right. No, very, very seriously. It really.
Oh, absolutely.
It really counts when people come together and.
When somebody says, "Do prayers help?" I don't know. I'm sure they couldn't hurt. But when somebody in one room turns to you and says, like, sings happy birthday, when you are the focal point of something, I definitely believe that. You can feel it.
You know, I stopped in church the other day to light a candle.
Walked into a church. I stopped along the way. I got down on my knees, and began to pray. I don't know the other words,
but that's good enough
to this stupid song.
California.
All right, sorry.
Well, we're not going to get hired as singers, but we just sing.
We might be hired,
but we sing to each other a lot when nobody's around. But here's what I want to tell you.
Yeah.
So we stopped into church, and I wanted to light a couple of candles.
By the way, some mamas and papas, Gloria. Sorry, go ahead.
And it was fairly empty.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one woman in such distress, going from station to station with her hands out.
Oh no!
Crying, praying. But I left her alone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, because for a minute I thought, very well dressed. Do I need to approach her? Does she need help?
Yeah, probably not.
Then a priest came in, so I thought I'm going to let him handle it.
Good.
I mean, I stopped in to light some candles, so I wasn't on it.
Did he?
Well, I'm going to be honest.
Because this church is a little weird. This is the church
where it is a beautiful church, though, and I wanted to light
where you had your bag grabbed on Christmas. Unbelievable. That's another story.
I don't want to even rehash that story.
They grabbed this guy's ass. 2 undercover cops so fast. You can't believe it.
Threw him on the ground.
Pow. And he's, my luck.
I got my purse back.
Are you kidding? Remember, he threw the church and he goes, I didn't mean it.
He said,
whoa.
Yeah. He never got in it. Nothing was gone from it. And grabbed it right off the pew. For one split second, I went to take a picture of the altar and had it next to me. Ladies, never put your purse down on church pews.
Al, all gassed up, says, Lionel, I know it's a step down, but I'd love to see you do your cutting room show in Nashville. I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it.
Well,
Absolutely.
You know, the cutting room has always over the years welcomed you with open arms. I'll just put that out there.
Let me tell you something
if you want to finish
them.
That thought.
Let me tell you something about them, especially during when it was real bad, when the TDS stuff was real bad.
That's what I'm letting you talk about.
They said, listen, anybody, this is a venue for entertainment and the like, and they were terrific. The staff, whatever. So anyway, that's February 22nd, by the way. So anyway, what's everybody doing? Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us what your plans are. Who's going to be knocked out? Who never makes it to midnight? Who does go to bed? What are you going to do? Tell us. Let's share this. Share this.
Everybody pretty much watches the ball in some old.
Look, it happens when you get old. I'm sorry. It's gravity.
Stop it. These fine people are tuning in.
My God. Mira los huevos. Ay, no.
Stop. These fine people don't want to hear that. I think Sue made a comment earlier on here about something like sad to take down the tree. I just want to address that. I get very sad, especially when I say to you, that's the first tree put out for the garbage, which was the other day.
Some people, it's like the next day after
Christmas. They go away for New Year's. A lot of people tell me, so they take the tree down and put it out. But it makes me so sad. And then I get so sad too. I have to take down all the decorations and.
Oh, look at this. Kim says, look at this. Kim says she's celebrating with her new chocolate Labrador puppy. Oh,
what's the baby's name?
Yeah, we always, dogs are cute, everything, but we do not have dogs. We just, I can't go out in the snow.
Let me tell you the reason we don't have a dog, because I can go out in the snow and I can do it all.
You heard this.
We don't have a dog because I want us to be able to bond with a dog for the first few months and really train them and be with them. And especially like now going into January, I'm going to be traveling a lot, be in Washington a lot. I won't be able to be with the dog.
I can train it.
And listen, you're going to be the first one. I could just see it. That dog would be sleeping in the bed with you. Yeah. You'd be like, where's little, what was our dog? Nitty. Named
after Frank Nitty.
After the gangster, or have a dog named Nitty. We already picked a name one time, years ago. I don't know. It might come someday. I really don't, because can't bond.
Well, we'll see.
Unless we're home.
I'll bond. George Len says, bottle of bubbly at midnight here at home. Happy New Year, Mr. and Mrs. L. Thank you so much. I have never liked champagne, ever. Sparkling, never been a wine person, except for Mosel, Auslese, Spätlese, Eichwein, the Germans, the real, those were like, whoa, years ago. Oh, man, those were. But other than that, champagne, And there's nothing worse than the smell of red wine on somebody's breath. Recently, I was at an event. Somebody had red wine and smoking cigarette. You know what I'm talking about. So it's cigarette smoke and red wine. I thought it was going to just become projectile emetic. Ugh. But we're going to have a nice, we're going to have nice coffee or whatever it is.
Tonight? Mm-hmm. Some ice water.
But we do heavy pharmaceuticals, though. Really stuff. Oh, we got a friend of ours at a pain clinic, and we just go nuts. I'm kidding.
People will take you seriously.
I'm kidding.
People will take you seriously.
I'm kidding.
That is not the truth.
One time, years ago, I'll tell you a story. One time, bless his heart, my father had this terrible neuropathy. It was it's like shingles, sort of, but it was terrible. So anyway, it was Father's Day, and he was sitting there at the table, and he couldn't even wear a T-shirt, nothing. So he's sitting there without a shirt. I said, "We look like this white trash trailer." I said, "What is this?" I was laughing, and he apparently was given Valium, like diazepam, kind of a thing for his neuropathy, and the pain is, as you know, shingles is horrible. So anyway, he wasn't very good with, do you take one, do you take two? So he was taking Val release. He was taking like Valium released, time release Valium and regular Valium. So I don't know how many he took, but he was like humming, singing in the rain. I said, what the hell's going on here? So my mother turned to him. She was a nurse. My sister's a nurse. She goes, how many doses did you take? They became like, I forget who the drug czar was. William Bennett. How many did you take? 3. 3? My God. Did you take one of these? I don't know. I go, oh my God, you had 50. You got like 25 milligrams. Oh my God, I hope you don't overdose. What? And he was like, he's feeling happy. So they said, talk to him. I said, why do I have to talk to him? What am I, the druggie?
Keep him awake.
Am I the druggie? Am I talking to me? So anyway, so they both left. They were discussing. God damn it! And he's like, I don't know. He was like looking at the box and the colors, the iridescent. I said, I got bad news for you. He said, what? I said, you know the feeling you have now? He says, yeah. It's gonna go away. So enjoy it. That's it. He says, you know, I'll never forget this. He says, you know, I can understand why people get hooked on this. I said, exactly. It's not because it hurts, but he was arrebata. I was going to put on like cream, white room or something. One of the funniest things. We had a friend years ago, remember, who a friend of ours had kind of like sinus surgery, very susceptible to painkiller, and went off the charts. Remember that? Hearing voices is very interesting. I think there's something to be said for that. I'll just leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Because you've never been gooned in your life.
Never.
Bridget Szymanski says, Chinese food familia tried to make it to midnight. Oh, I know.
It is like a long slog.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of like you get to kind of like 10:30ish and then you're like another hour and a half.
There's something worse than that for the.
And then they got that Rockin' Eve. Is that thing still on? That Rockin' Eve, that horrible entertainment? Give me Guy Lombardo. I'm sorry.
I thought it was interesting where you could buy a ticket in, I guess, China and go backwards, go from 2025 to 2024, which is kind of an interesting concept. And if you kept going backwards, do you get your years back? In any event, it's kind of stupid. Anyway, I identify as Gene Kelly. You guys are very cute together. Thank you, Kelly. You know about that. Look at this. I wish I didn't have so much pain that I've got to take about enough to knock out a large horse, because it takes a lot to get high tolerance. Yes, for everything. LOL, it all goes to the pain. You know, it's funny you say that. People who are really, 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 really horribly in pain will do anything to make the pain go away, and they don't get high. It's just to alleviate it. It's the worst pain I've ever had in my life. I've never experienced anything even remotely like this, ever. I was doing House of Cards.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing the House of Cards.
I still have nightmares about
and
it.
I got this attack, this pain. I thought I was dying. They took me to a hospital. I left the set in an ambulance.
You came back to the scene?
In an ambulance. And I'm in Baltimore. And they're like, and the agent's calling. It's like, can he make it? I said, I'm going to make it.
And he said, do you think he can do it? I'm like, yeah, he's going to do that scene. You're like, okay.
Oh, I was in a hospital. I was dying.
Get to that set and do that scene.
I was screaming.
You were screaming.
I was telling the doctor, I'll never forget this. I said,
I shouldn't laugh. You were screaming.
I hate to be a little bitch. I swear to you, I said, this is killing me. I'm like grabbing him. And he said, well, maybe we can give you some morphine. I said, what the hell are you waiting for? They're asking me. It was the most miraculous.
We never found out, though, what the pain was.
Gone. Done. Have a nice day. See, I went back. I did the scene with Robin Wright, and that's been.
And you could never tell a thing.
No.
You looked great. You sounded great.
From the end, and they're looking at me like, who's this guy? They're thinking overdose or something. An ambulance take this guy up. Some bit part guy. It was so funny. We were driving back. I was with I think one of the guys who may have passed away. They were asking me. They're all talking about it. He says, "Are you an actor?" Because they all drove us back to the hotel. I said, "Well, no. Well, what have you done before?" I said, "Well, nothing really." I don't never.
But you could have. You could have. You chose not to.
But I chose not to be a gold medal, long distance runner either, for one particular reason, talent. But anyway, but the point is, this circuitous story, the amount of pain that I felt, I've never, and that morphine, boom, gone, like nothing. That's why in the battlefield, people who lost arms, they give them morphine, and it's miraculous. Okay, moving right along.
But it wasn't a kidney stone. Somebody said kidney stone. It was just, no.
Look at this. Chris Emerson. How about this? Lionel requesting the Andrew Cuomo ventilator impression. You are a wild dude. God. He's coming back, by the way. Andrew Cuomo is going to be coming back.
I actually think he has a chance.
Yeah. And I wish Curtis Sliwa would come back. I've known him for 30-something years. He's a good guy, smart as a whip. If he'd get off this stupid feral cat business and get down to business.
He's not talking about that again because I can't go. I cannot.
He married a very nice, married a very nice woman who's into cats.
Yeah, but we don't have time for cats. Of a sudden, people are burning up on subways.
All of a sudden, I said, what are you talking about? So when did you get with this cats? When did this happen?
Okay, but they are.
Oh,
I'll tell you something.
Don't bring up the woman, but they identified her. That's all I'm going to say. That's his. No,
but that is a story. But the guardian angels. So Curtis is going back out on patrol.
Well,
so he says. Yeah. With the gang. But I tell you, they were a presence here in New York when they started. I used to see them get on subway cars, walk through. You know, everybody saw the red jackets and berets. And I wonder today, I don't think there'd be that same kind of.
And they go from train to car to car to car.
But what I'm asking you, do you think there'd be that same kind of, because people really sat up when they.
Yes.
I don't know, it was the late 70s. I don't remember when this was. But
I'm 100% in favor of it.
No, but I don't think today people would give them that kind of attention because the way people are. You would.
They walk in, they get the beret. They walk two at a time. They've got all these earrings and the thing and a lot of times
we need the guardian angels.
A lot of times I think they disarm people because when you see them, you think, what is this? What do you wear? How old are you? They kind of
look like a gang. A lot of them.
They look like a gang
with matching jackets.
Some are 80 years old. Some are 12. And then there's Curtis, who...
Curtis is in his 70s.
Curtis is one of the smartest people. I know what I'm talking about. But he just goes off into this. I have a list somewhere. Curtis is famous for his malaprops. And he says things like he'll say it. He says, like a knight on a white shiny horse. The flamingo's coming back from Capistrano. Alzheimer's disease. Between a hard rock and a hard spot. He does and you think you don't really remember.
Do you think he does it on purpose?
No.
I'm not sure about that.
He used to work sometimes for 4 days in a row, and I don't know how he did. He worked constantly. So one day I was walking by we were at WABC, and I'm walking by the room or the control room, and there he is. And lo and behold, he was talking about. He goes, and of course I take Bertolli olive oil and rub it on my foreskin to grow hair. And I walked in. I said, excuse me, I know you're not supposed to do this. And he started, because I could make him laugh. I said, but let me ask you what you just said. He's like up for 4 days. You want to put Bertolli olive oil on your foreskin to grow hair. Number one, why do you want to grow hair? But number two, what are you talking about? Well, he had heard it was something that Italians believed you put on your forehead, you grow hair. He was tired. And so we started laughing. Now, he's been up for 4 days. I'm laughing. I'm thinking, what is this? WABC flagship number 1. And you got this guy talking about putting it on his foreskin. And we were laughing. That's when radio was great. Now it's a disaster. I don't know what this is. Oh, how about this one today? They actually had this in not Vice magazine, but Variety or something. They said, hey, guess what? A lot of these sound, voicing, Spotify sound, whatever, they're really losing to video. People seem to want to watch video more than listen to radio. I'm thinking, do you think? They wrote an article. How did they not know this? It goes without saying. People want to see this. Do you want to watch Joe Rogan or listen to him? You want to watch him or maybe have the option. I love the way these people just figure something out.
Raul says Curtis is 70.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, good for him.
No, because I said he's in his 70s.
He
So
is. He's
here.
good. He's a good. Let me see. Let me see this.
Okay,
Who else?
Curtis is 70.
Okay, good. Terrific. Enough.
And thank you, Gail, for that nice comment. I am wearing my, my sparkles tonight for New Year's Eve. We dress around the house.
Well, you do. And she made the lasagna like this. I swear to God.
I was running amok.
You look like one of the Fitzgeralds.
I know. It wasn't.
I'm
one
walking
of those,
around like a schmuck with this.
It was like Beaver's mother with an apron on. Women don't really wear aprons anymore. They sell them. But women, whose mother and grandmother wore aprons? Because every woman used to wear an apron. And then I don't know why women just stopped wearing aprons. I'm not kidding. Did your mother wear an apron?
No.
They didn't wear them in Tampa?
Not really. Your mother was very, very June Cleaver. Mine was more like
your grandmother didn't wear
Alice Cramden. No. No, I'm serious. We were not fancy at all.
Wearing an apron is not fancy. Every woman used to wear an apron.
You go like this. You have a towel, or
No.
Nobody.
My mother had little aprons, and not the ones that go over your head, like the tying around the waist aprons. Now all the aprons are over the head, like a chef's apron. Right. I want to see.
No, I have not.
Whose mother wore? Really? No, she wore an apron.
Look at this. Mikey guy says, "I remember you from WPix News." And Pixie, in New York City.
Pixie News.
They didn't know what to do with me. They did not know. Remember that
New
Year's
slipped
Eve.
In there, kind of.
Thanks to.
And then
thanks to Bill Carey. Yeah. Thanks to Randy Michaels. Yes. Thanks. Absolutely. This is when it was fun. It was so hip. When what's his name? Greg. Oh, the what's his name? The Subway. The Subway guy.
He's still on, I think.
Yeah, but what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Greg something. I don't
Greg
know.
something.
We're in bad shape. We can't remember.
He was a genius when he was doing. Oh my God, he did some of the greatest stuff. It was some of the. I'm telling you, it was terrific. Greg. Oh come on, what's his name? Greg Mocker. Thank you.
How can we forget that?
Greg Mocker was terrific.
I think he's still on. I think I saw him fairly recently still on.
But then, doing something. People, but they want to make changes. That's fine. But anyway, I was saying something. Oh, New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve coming out. Remember the Stardust Diner? Now it's Justino's. What was it? The Stardust? Wasn't that Stardust? It was the.
No, it was called Morning Star.
Morning Star.
Morning Star Diner.
Star. And we walked out. And we're getting something late, and it was New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve, one of the two.
It was New Year's Eve.
And there's one guy, he says, "Hey, we used to watch you on Rikers all the time." I said, "All right." He goes, "We love you, man." I said, "Love you too."
Fans of fans.
On Rikers Island. Yes. Second one, the best story. Tell me if I'm exaggerating. Up 8th Avenue. This guy's walking behind us, and he's cursing under his breath. This guy is a nut. He is an absolute crazy. We were, I thought, so anyway, I said, you get towards the thing. I'm standing between. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm trying to brace myself.
I was on the outside. You said, move to the inside.
Move.
Don't turn around.
Yeah, move towards, move away from
walking.
him. I'll be in the middle. You walk towards the street and let this guy pass us. So anyway, as he passes us, he's mumbling and effing this, F. He turns around and goes, "Hey, I like you, or I watch you all the time." I said, "Thanks." He goes, "All right." Turns around, F it. Went right back to it. But stopped, and that
tells you a lot about the people that watch Pix News, doesn't it?
Carla, of course, the elusive one says, "We're looking for a clip of House of Cards episodes you were on. That show is top 5 for me. Meanwhile, Roger found us
Snap Judgment. Remember Snap Judgment?
Oh, Snap Judgment. That was oh God, that was a wonderful time.
Snap Judgment.
I think I'm going to put that piece up. I've got it. I'm going to put it up. We'll see. It's not the longest, but it's me with Robin Wright. It's very, very nice. This is when I told him. I said,
I think you should do more of that.
I said, "Do you think?" I said, "I don't." I said, "We should be wearing headphones." He goes, "Well," I said, "No. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They didn't care." It's very, very interesting. So long for. She was very, very nice, very professional. She had this long coat. It was very cold in this big hangar in Baltimore. And she goes, I'm Robin. I'm thinking, yeah, I know. And
well, she was being.
She was very. You met her too one time. She's very nice.
Yes, but my story shall remain.
But she's very, very nice. Is my point. Either way, very, very nice.
She's being very nice, introducing herself to you.
Yes,
on the set.
Anthony says, "Oh, he was the first at WFLA. Howard Stern got the idea to be a morning drive shot from Lionel. No brag, just fact. No, those were days. Let me tell you something. A radio genius, and I mean this, and I use that term, was a fellow named Randy Michaels. And Randy Michaels not only knew radio, knew about the transmitter, knew where the transmitter was, how to get the frequencies, the wavelength, the tube. He had a license. He knew every aspect of the of the industry, everything. And the only thing was, he goes, have fun, don't lose the license. That was it. If you said something that got people upset, great. They backed you. I one time was doing every racial joke I knew using the word Alsatian for whatever it was. And they said, you're going to have to stop. I said, why? Because are we getting calls from Alsatians? I said, no, we know what you mean. I said, but if you know what I mean, then you've got the problem, not me. Did I ever tell you the story about Mrs. Miller? Remember Mrs. Miller?
Of course I do, from Merv Griffin.
One day we were in the studio and we had all these great albums. I mean, albums that this is a radio station from the whatever. And I found this Mrs. Miller, and she was doing The Girl from Ipanema. And she was doobie doobie doo. No, Strangers in the Night. And the album was warped. It was kind of warped. So it was like, and I play this, and I would make this up. I said, let me explain something to you. I said, Mrs. Miller was the girl from Ipanema. Jobim was a cabana boy on Ipanema on the beach, and he met her, and I made this up. And then I said, he gave Charlie Parker the name Yushiga Yardberg because he made chicken for him. And I made this. Anyway, so my buddy, Jerry Wexler, the Jerry Wexler, he called me and he said, I never heard that about Mrs. Miller. I said, I made it up. He said, great. He said, I worked this thing. I said, can you come on? He said, yeah, I'll make something up too. Really? He goes, yeah. I said, well, this will ruin your career. He says, I'm 90-something years old. I don't care. So he was going to make something up. And he said, I'll even get Mitch Miller, because he knew who was in the neighborhood. So we were going to contrive this story about Mrs. Miller. And nobody would do it. We had it all worked out. I don't know what happened. Jerry got sick or I left, whatever. But
did we ever find out who Mrs. Miller? I'm going to have to look this up. Who's she really? Because I was a kid when I used to watch Merv Griffin. It was on 8:30 here in New York.
Mrs. Miller, I think she lived in there. She used to buy out Carnegie Hall, and she was she couldn't sing, and she was in the front seat, the front row of Merv Griffin. Who remembers Mrs. Miller? This is really esoteric.
Remember, but Merv came from my old office at one point, the Helen Hayes Theater on 44th Street. So maybe when I was a kid watching it, I think she was in New York.
Mrs. Miller, she died. She was 89 years. Her name was Elva Ruby Canis.
So she wasn't even a Mrs. Miller.
No, and who recorded under the name Mrs. Miller, was an American singer who gained some fame in the 1960s for her series of shrill and off-tempo renditions of popular songs such as Moon River, Monday, Monday, A Lover's Concerto, and Downtown. Oh, that Downtown was very good. She was an untrained mezzo-soprano.
Well,
anyway,
let's get to her personal part of her story. I want to see.
She sang for servicemen in Vietnam. Okay. Can you imagine that? You've got all these great, All Along the Watchtower, Fortunate Son, all this great music that maybe
but we're not understanding
Quentin Tarantino would use.
Where she came from.
And you come out of the jungle and you've been humping the Charlie and this, and Mrs. Miller. She turned around to go back into the jungle.
But what's her? We don't see her personal story.
I'm going to get to this, please.
There's nothing there. I'm a speed reader.
She was discovered by a radio disc jockey. Oh, Gary Owens.
Oh, remember him?
Yeah, he was a great. I knew him very, very well. And Pat McCormick. Pat McCormick went to see them.
Old timers, yeah.
Him, Pat McCormick, and somebody else at Michael's Pub, right off of 3rd Avenue,
that used
where
to be a very
Woody Allen used to play.
Big hot spot. Big hot spot.
Yes. I forgot all about him. Gary Owens.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know why, but I thought you were going to say NJ Pack. Remember the night at NJ Pack?
Oh no. Listen. Oh my God, listen. You got me so excited. That was the night I've got my very proud. Robert Klein, opened it for Robert Klein, Mort Saw, and Dick Gregory.
But we were all in one car.
Wait a minute. On the way back.
What happened?
For whatever reason, Robert Klein was gone, but it was Mort Saw and Dick Gregory in this like Cadillac or something. But it was such an old car.
It had like on somebody's lap.
Me.
Oh,
it was like a hump with a transmission. This was an old car. Anyway, so we're in the back of this thing with these comedy greats, and I said, "Look at this. We're in the back. We're driving."
This is show business.
Yeah, show business. They were phenomenal.
They were. Those were the days.
Dick Gregory, remember they gave him this dressing room, this big.
He came with a sweater on a hanger.
No, one sweater.
And he hung it on the rack.
I was more saw had a sweater. Well, anyway, one of the two.
They each came with a sweater on a hanger.
And they're sitting there, and they just sat in this room with this big closet. There was nothing in there except one sweater
on the rack.
This big, long room. And I thought, I don't know if they're going to do it. And I met him and said, okay, very, very nice. And as soon as they hit that stage, boom.
Wow. That was something, right?
Unbelievable. To be right there, to be backstage.
It was a good crowd that night, too.
It was wonderful. Mort Saw, Dick Gregory. You're never going to see that again.
You were the MC. You were the announcer.
And also Mort Saw, Dick Gregory, and people. And one of these days, we really need to do a better. There's a documentary right now. It's kind of piss poor on Bill Hicks and how these people. Because today, there are people who are the notion about comedy and politics. It's been completely erased, thanks in great part to me. I'm kidding. But it's true. Nobody wants to go see a political commentator. They want to see just somebody, and you can't write this stuff. Oh. If I told you you're going to imagine a comic or something, he's been in a coma and he wakes up and he says, we have a president right now who is arrebatado, but they're pretending he's not, and he is, and everybody knows it. You can't write this. Now they're saying right now, I can't believe that you lied to the American people and said that Joe Biden.
Can you believe
Who
it?
didn't know this?
Can you believe it?
Who in the name of God? So anyway, what's everybody's doing?
Well, Howie Brown is listening to Mrs. Miller right now sing Yellow Submarine.
We all live. Oh.
And Hillbilly says that Dick Gregory had a big influence on him. He really was something, Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory was. And we also saw in that little off-Broadway place
Give me a hint. There's been a lot of little off-Broadway places.
It's off of, it's a church. It's off of like, remember the time he went to the guy with the shoes? He had we saw the gay story, the guy who had the special shoes.
Yes, with the different layers.
But what was the show that was there all the time? It was there for years. Anyway, this little thing we saw, it was called I'm Coming to Hear You. It was an actor. You've seen him before. I
don't really know what you're talking about.
We went to see a story about
in that
Dick
church?
In that church, in that place.
Oh, yeah. It was excellent.
It was an actor.
It was a one-man show, and he was playing Dick Gregory.
Right? And it was something about his last words were, help me, I'm coming, or it was. Anyway.
And that actor did monologue. I mean, it was just him on the stage, I think. It's coming back
to Dick Gregory. Remember his family? He abandoned his family. Turn Me Loose.
Turn Me Loose.
Turn Me Loose was fantastic.
When was that? Because how come?
That's him.
2017? I thought it was longer.
Joe Morton was his name.
Joe Morton.
Joe Morton. He was
excellent.
Unbelievable. be at the same theater. I saw Gore Vidal there, did Trumbull. I don't want to sound like the usual, but there was so much great theater. You could just off Broadway, little places. Remember that one
Wasn't that at the church though, Terminus?
That's the church.
I did the show there.
Right.
Wasn't the show?
You know, but the dress, but the black dress.
Oh no. And
also Vagina Monologues was there too.
Love, Lost, and What I Wore.
Yes, that was there.
But I did with From Hill Street Blues.
No, that's another one.
It's not that church?
That's not that church.
Because I'm thinking about.
You're talking about Travanti.
Yes, I'm thinking.
Who was vegan before it was cool. I remember we took him to a vegan. I said, "You want to eat this?" I couldn't believe it. I said, "Oh my God, how far we've come." No.
It's a long time ago.
It's across the street from Esca, right there off of 8th Avenue. It's that little church. It's on the side on 8th Avenue. For the longest time, it was the house place for whatever. Anyway, it was a wonderful.
That's where Terminus was?
Yes.
Because I was with you, so I don't
It was that little church. It was fantastic. The little churches, Actor Studios in Hell's Kitchen, all of these little churches, saw a wonderful play with the fellow who plays Bookman, the book detective in the library on Seinfeld, that great actor. Saw one with him. We saw Linda Lavin something once. We saw Tyne Daly.
She was really good, that Linda Lavin. And she
my God.
She was known in the theater community. Well, also Hollywood. She was a really hardworking, very serious, very nice, very generous. One of the few really like that. So
you wouldn't believe how many people she's worked with. Liam Neeson and The Crucible and production, all kinds of people. I mean, all... That is so gone right now. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. There's really nothing.
That is gone. What I experienced, and to me, that creativeness. Well, when lawyers get involved and corporations take over Broadway, and they've got the say, and they don't have an ounce of creativity, they ruin everything.
For years, she was in with Hairspray. Hairspray changed everything. John Waters is such a gentleman.
Yes.
Who did
very classy gentleman.
Not Xanadu. He did the other way, but he did
John Waters.
Yeah. What was when he did it was
Crybaby.
Crybaby. John Waters is such a gentleman. And with Divine, and he's not weird and creepy, an absolute gentleman. Carla says, "Did you ever see the Portuguese Kid with Jason Alexander?"
I have not.
No.
Could be on the list.
I like the way you spell that, Portuguese.
Could be on the list. I think it will be. I've
seen. I think it was the last. I think ours was the last when we were. You were in the Broadway League for 2 years, and voted. We went to for 2 years.
I took it very seriously.
I know, but listen to this. For 2 years, we went to see every play. I never knew how many there were. Weekends, we would do 2 in a row on weekend. I said, this is killing me.
Because I had to vote.
I know that.
Most people would laugh at me and they'd be like, "You actually go and see all the shows?" I'm like, yes, I'm not going to vote unless I see every show, because most of them in the league, I'm sorry, they didn't see every show.
We saw it. It was unbelievable when and our friend said this, when they removed the curtain and the proscenium, when they just, you walk out and the curtain's open, it changed everything. The one that changed my life, the one I said, holy God, was Jerusalem with Mark Rylance. Oh my! I've never seen.
Well, that was like Shakespearean acting.
Sure, he played. Yeah,
it was a 3-act play.
It was. I think he won the Tony. It was the most people walked out of that thing. Just
that was acting.
It's also weird when you're watching a period piece and they have this one little very thin wall to Broadway or 40 whatever street, and you hear sirens and people yelling, "Get that mother!" And it bleeds in to when we saw Al Pacino did Shylock or whatever.
Oh.
you know,
he was a real spitter too.
Oh,
Because
yelling.
We were in the front.
Yeah.
The spitting.
Saw him twice. That and also Glengarry Glen Ross. I think he was in that one too. Yelling.
Well, he's got the same act. He's got the same
Salome. Saw him with that with what's her name? The one from
Nicole Kidman.
Vinny. No, my cousin Vinny.
Oh.
You know who she is.
I know who she is with the dark hair.
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei. She's very good to me.
That was the most stupid thing.
But she's very good.
I said, why are you yelling?
Because he has one act. He has one tone.
But they're right.
He's a spitter.
But they're right. But why are you yelling? Didn't we see who did we see Death of a Salesman? Was it
Brian Dennehy?
Brian Dennehy. Whoa. Unbelievable. Those were, let me tell you something.
Those are actors.
Those were, that was something where you never felt like chills when you go to see a movie. Never. And you never saw, there was, those days are over. Those days, there is nothing. Maybe Hell's Kitchen, but it's too expensive, too ridiculous. But
think about it. People can't, especially now, people are a little bit in fear of Broadway is driven by the tourist, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The tourist trade. And to come to park a car, now we've got congestion tax that's starting on
January 5th.
Sunday.
Tell them a story. How much?
Go to dinner.
How much is each ticket?
Well, Hell's Kitchen, the ticket I looked at was $241. So if two people go, it's $500. You got taxes, it's ridiculous. Therefore, I did not go.
Nelson A says off-Broadway Slavis Snow Show. Awesome.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That's the name of a show.
Slava Snow Show?
Yes. I think we were gonna go once. Oh no, we were gonna go to the Gazillion Bubble Show. And there's only one person in it. Ages ago. And
how about the Poetry of the
canceled.
Penis? Remember that one? I never saw that, but I saw pictures of it. Now that's a creative mind.
That's creepy though. I'm sorry. That is very creepy, and I don't want to talk about that on New Year's Eve.
I one time made up this story. You know what Poetry of the Penis is? He contorts and bends and stretches, whatever, but it's a true story. So what I did was I said and I made this up, but with a straight face. I said there is an all women's act where they use their own particular pudenda, and they have ventriloquists who come and they play various people: Che Guevara, Castro, Willie Nelson, kind of like Senor Wences, to Volvar, whatever. And I made this up, and people said, "Really?" So anyway, but it goes to show you, this is how demented we are, where that could even be possible.
Do you know, I remember, it just came back to me.
Don't mind us. We're just talking. Go ahead.
Yes. There was a construction site, I think between 9th and 10th years ago, on 42nd, I think. And you know how they put the plywood up, to block out and they put the posters, even though it says do not post anything, but everybody always posts posters. In one spot, there was a poster for Urinetown. Remember that show?
Yes.
Puppetry of the Penis.
Right.
And Vagina Monologues.
Whoa.
And I remember thinking, what has this town come to? What has the Broadway stage
I forgot about that.
Remember Urinetown?
Yes.
That was somewhat of a hit.
Undinism. Urolagnia. How about...
I want to just thank people for saying, I saw some nice comments go by. Thank you.
What?
I saw some nice comments go by, Somebody asked about my skin.
Blue Man Tube. Remember that one? Very interesting.
Blue Man Group.
Group Tube. Blue Man Group.
They actually just announced that's closing.
Oh my
God. It's got to be 25 years.
Is Tony and Tina's wedding still going on? Remember that one?
It had moved to Vegas as a permanent show, but I don't know if it's still in Vegas.
Hamilton. No, I wouldn't go see Hamilton.
No, I protest that.
It has as much to do with Hamilton as I do. Hamilton owned a slave. He was against manumission. Don't get me. This is such. Book of Mormon. I thought it was mocking Mormons. Mormons didn't bother me. I didn't, particularly.
My take on that. That was during the Tony voting period. We saw Book of Mormon because I remember when that was. But guess what? People in the audience, a lot of them, the tourists, people just didn't really understand the show.
Understood it, yeah.
I say that. What's the word? They just didn't they heard the show was good and funny, and they should go. I actually remember the show The Producers?
Yes,
and people were like, it's so funny. I actually saw a man fall out of his chair laughing so hard into the aisle.
It wasn't that.
It wasn't that funny.
Not only that, you've seen it before.
Who's falling out of chairs into the
aisle?
But
you've seen it before. A couple of times we went to see a movie. There was bless their hearts. There were some black citizens from, I don't know, maybe not from New York. They went to see, it was that Irish movie play with Ian McShane or Ian whatever, and they were saying, "This one there was on take. Don't take these abandoned." And they go, "What the?" They had no. They kept saying, "What is the man saying?"
But I was with them. I couldn't I was with them. After 5 minutes, I tune out. I couldn't understand them either.
This has no. I don't even understand this. But they've never heard this. This patois.
That was tough to understand.
That was rough.
That was
the only one we walked out on. I never
think we left an intermission because I think I said to you, I have a headache. I cannot, and I never walk out on a show.
Remember Hair? I said, "Don't touch me."
She tried to put flowers around your neck. Said, don't touch me. They jump off the stage and they're singing and jumping. She didn't try to put flowers on me. She ran to you to put the flowers on you. And you're like, "Do not touch me."
If you're going to San Francisco, put some flowers in my hair. Carla says, "You two might be the only reason we consider returning to New York City. We love the chance to take you to Jean Georges to try the best vegan cuisine the city has to offer." I'll tell you where to go. Not Jean Georges, but that, and thank you.
Carla, that's a very incredible offer.
But that Madison, 111 Madison?
11 Madison.
11 Madison. That's the one. It's like $300.
I didn't even know Jean Georges was doing vegan.
Well, Jean Georges just opened up a new, Boulay. You're talking Jean Georges von Gerichten. He's up there at Trump Plaza or Trump Tower. But Boulay has a new steak place. By the way, little plant-based thing. If you want to go, the best place for us to go, steakhouses. Best sides there are. And also, Carla, if you ever come to New York, I'm telling you, the place you got to go is Keen's Steakhouse since 18-something. Mutton. I know you're going to say, does it sound? It's really something. That is one of the neatest places. Delmonico's downtown. These old.
There's not that many left.
No.
The old ones.
Nope. The old PJ Clark's are still there. With a urinal you can walk into. I didn't even know this, but in any event. Let me see.
But I boycott that restaurant.
Yes.
That's for another story.
Danny Aiello was great.
Oh, he was a nice
Do the right thing. I have a picture. He came.
That's a great picture.
A picture of him at the cutting room.
Actually, I should frame that. That was a really
And he was looking like.
Somebody took that.
And he came up to me and said, he always thought it was a liberal. I said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, so finally we got him to come. And he was so nice. He
wanted to come and he came. But he sat there with his mouth open staring at you for 2 hours.
Because
you mesmerized
two people. Well, first of all, I got to tell you this. Danny Aiello, Pat Cooper was, we loved him. And the great Dick Capri just died.
Oh, my goodness.
Dick Capri killed me. Two people that made me laugh. Robert Klein, who hates me, but he is his routine. He is a genius. Child of the 50s is the greatest ever. But he doesn't like my politics. Anyway, that's number one.
I don't care for him.
But Dick Capri killed me. One time I was at the Friars Club doing a podcast with Pat Cooper, Dick Capri, and me. Another time too, where we had this joke off, and I won the joke off, and Alan King was the judge. Those were.
They don't do that.
You probably don't know this, Carla. Friars Club is gone, done. They're going to sell it.
They have a because I pass it frequently on 55th Street. They have a big fat bicycle chain through the door handles with a big padlock on it. And there's a front window that's broken now and it's dark and dingy and it's just nothing there.
Pat Cooper, I told you the story. I was on the 1 or the 9. Which is one? They got rid of the 1 or the 9. I haven't been in the subway. The 9. Anyway, uptown.
They got rid of the 9.
The 9. Okay, so it's a 1. So anyway, I'm in there and I look and say, oh no, it's Pat Cooper. And I just didn't feel like talking. It was a rough day. And I'm kind of hiding. And he was there, and he used to take the subway. Whenever he would go on a show, he wouldn't take cars. He took the subway.
I met him in the subway once.
He was
on
a New Yorker.
50th and 8th Avenue. I'm like, hey, Pat.
You go to Esposito's down the street. He was a real New Yorker. Anyway, so these black kids would come up and they'd say, hey, man, you got some money? He goes, what is this? You don't come up somebody goes, hey, man, hey, give me that. Let me show you how to do it. And he's performing, and these kids were laughing. He goes, you go up to somebody, and you got to believe in yourself. You know, like that. You go, hey, could you help me? And people were like clapping. He was a natural.
He was something, right?
He was the sweetest. I have a tape of him yelling on the phone. I recorded it, talking about Cody Fields and Jerry Vale. And
I never understood
oh my God.
Just don't ever say those names in front of him. Cody Fields, Jerry Vale, and also Lola Falana.
Oh my God.
Don't ever say Lola Falana.
Do me a favor. When you're done with us tonight, when you're done, make sure you go to YouTube, of course, look at Pat Cooper with Tom Snyder. The famous Tom Snyder goes, Lola Falana, my wife sent me. I don't need your fruit. I'm not even sure what Pat was saying because his anger,
something happened there. I'm not sure.
Sweetest gentleman. We went to a place called Promola, and he too was going to say we're taking us E2E, and I thought I'd be a sport, and I gave the guy the card and said, send the bill to me. I thought, and I'm not exaggerating, you were there. I thought Pat Cooper was going to kill me. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
He was big.
Big. He was a bricklayer and he was a kid. He's always physical.
No, he really went crazy.
I thought he was going to kill me.
Yeah.
I thought this is what murder looks like. This is what, when people look into the eyes of a killer, but the sweetest man. And towards the end, when he was, we talk on the phone. He just.
You reminisced. Oh, you gave him happy moments. You reminisced. And
those people were just my heroes. I told you, Will Jordan. To see, remember this in the neighborhood, just people that I grew up with, because you got to understand, growing up in Florida, we didn't have theater. To me, my heroes were people like Mike Douglas and Merv Griffin and those people. I used to watch a guy named Monty Alexander play piano on Merv Griffin. And I got to meet him and know him. And I lost a lot of these people because of the politics. I did. But when it was okay, I got to meet the people that were and musicians killed me. We saw Bobby Caldwell at Blue Note. What You Won't Do for Love.
I think he died too.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, he was incredible.
Anyway, enough of that. Who else is there? Pasquale Caputo. He was the most wonderful. Pasquale Caputo, this fellow, Maniscalco, Sebastian Maniscalco. Granted, he's got a different shtick, but the original Italian. He goes, I thought these people. He goes, when I was a kid, my father called me retardo. Why do you laugh? Why do you make people laugh? He says, to me, Milton Berle, that was a hero. If I was Jewish, he loved it. God bless the Jewish people. They treated the comedians like geniuses. Me, my father was, why do you laugh? You're retarded. I guess from his point of view. But he said, all the people I thought were Italian, they're Jewish. Tony Martin, Jewish. And he was. And the pictures now that we saw look at this. A Celebration of Life, Pat Cooper.
We just did that fairly.
We just did with his
Italian American Museum down in the Village opened, which they
with
talked
Emily.
About.
We got him
with his wife Emily.
With him, here he is with Judy Garland, Sammy Davis Jr. I mean, this guy was.
Yeah.
I loved him.
I miss those kind of people. Remember Toadie Fields?
Oh yes.
I used to see her on Merv Griffin when I was a kid. And then she had to get like her leg.
Yeah, right.
Amputated.
Yeah, I think both of us. Both
diabetes or something.
Yeah. She was wonderful. Remember Hermione Gingold?
Oh, that's how as a
Brother
kid I watched
Theater.
everybody.
Brother Theater was off Broadway. He had the thing going for. I didn't even know how the guy was doing.
But that's how I learned a lot from Merv Griffin and Mike Douglas.
I got me and Professor Irwin Corey, who was.
Well, I think we went to his 100th birthday party. down in the down in Chelsea. We went to.
He was worth a fortune. When he was young, he bought houses that are now they're townhouses or what were, but he was the one who started off always with, however, honey, we've been talking for an hour and 10.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. We forgot where we were.
We reminisced.
We're supposed to be talking to you, and you see what we do?
No, but let's ask everybody.
But you know why?
Put their thoughts.
You know why? Because I like her. I love her, of course, but I like her. Not always. No.
What?
No. But,
what?
But we can talk about, it's the same, generation.
But we talk about a lot. We talk about a lot of stuff.
And we lived in two different parts of the country, but it was the same generation, the same. It's so important to find somebody you really like. I mean, do you really like your spouse? You got to ask yourself, do you really like them? Are they the only people you really want to be with? Do you? Can you really say this? Don't get your hand. No, but I'm saying, it's.
No, but let me say something though.
All right.
We also very much are two peas in the pod.
Oh yes.
We can talk about everything from politics. I don't like that word politics, but we can talk about all of that. Also, all of things I work with, with the Warriors and with, I talk to you about a lot of stuff, national security, kids, all kinds of things happening in Washington, Albany, and you very much help me with all of that. You're very understanding and you give me a lot of empowerment. Oh, and I thank you for that.
Oh, I love you. Carla says, book New York City, coming to the cutting room. Look at this. Carla. We're going to party like it's 1999, which makes no sense.
Remember that? 1999?
That's like the name of the book. Well, it's 1984. What does that mean?
When I used to watch I Love Lucy party as a kid, there was an episode with Little Ricky, and it was something like he's graduating from college in, I don't know, 1974 or 84. Right. And I remember thinking, wow, that's like, it might have been 84. No, it couldn't have been. Probably 74. I thought that was so far away.
Do you remember the great Candid camera? Do you remember I watched them on YouTube. YouTube is it for me. And the original Candid cameras. And I kind of got a flavor for New York and whatever, because I liked old New York, old. And of course, there was this one guy, Alan Funt said it. Remember Durwood Kirby later on, but Alan Funt said,
I do.
They walked into a little diner off Broadway. And all of the people in there, people sitting in the booths, the people on the counter, were all musicians and singers on Broadway. Musicians, dancers, but they were all hidden away. And there was one spot to sit at the front, and this guy comes in, and there's a two-way mirror, and they're filming him. So you just see him, and he's just looking at you. And so Alan Funt, nobody knew who he was, says, "Hey, pal, you're looking kind of down today." He says, "Well," he's got his coffee. He said, "Well, you know how they would pour in that thing with the little lid, just pouring the way we would drink coffee and sugar. Well, okay." He says, "You know what you need, my friend? You need a song. Hit it." And all of a sudden, people jumped up, trombones, drums. They were dancing on the whatever. And he deadpan, looked straight, and the only thing I think he did was he kind of looked like, what the hell is going? And they go, "Gray skies are gonna clear up, but unhappy."
He didn't really react.
But and I remember as a kid seeing this, and I knew I got it. The humor was understated. My mother and I roaring. I said, "Look at this," and I would think about the idea if he walks in and there is a full core. Anyway, am I nostalgic? The same way people are nostalgic about Mozart. The same way people are nostalgic about Shakespeare. This was classic. These were the greatest.
We're lucky we lived through all that. We saw that as kids, and
But not everybody, not all of our friends appreciated it because we were, I think, kind of old souls. We were
old souls as kids.
Because when I was a kid, my parents never said, "Go talk with the kids." I always sat with the old people. I just listened to them. I learned a lot. Anyway, that's enough.
But also, I used to watch all those shows. Like Marcus Welby as a kid. What little kids watching
Consuela.
what little kids watching? Marcus Welby, Mannix,
James Brolin,
those kind of shows.
And
Streets
Gail
of
Fisher.
San Francisco is one of my favorites.
Gail
I love
Fisher.
That show.
This was a black. His Gail was Peggy. Whatever. This was huge. It doesn't seem like much. Conrad, remember Joseph Conrad, William Conrad with Cannon? We thought he was so
still
fat.
on MeTV because I watch it still sometimes.
He would drive that big Lincoln Mark IV. And then the one I couldn't figure out
Quinn
is
Martin production.
Barnaby Jones with his little microscope. What was that? He had a little gun.
The shows are still all on MeTV.
If you're outsmarted by Barnaby, no, Judd Clampett figured you out. The police can't find the serial killer, but Barney Jones and Lee Merriweather, who was Miss America, remember that? His daughter-in-law?
Yes, I do.
I think his son died or whatever it is. Don't mind us. We're just, in any event. Gunsmoke, Adam 12 SWAT MeTV.
Those are the shows.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Look at this. I still drink chock full of nuts coffee.
They still sell it.
Chock full of nuts was the only coffee. There was no a coffee shop. It was a little mini diner, a sandwich shop. It didn't mean you go in and get coffee.
It was 8 o'clock coffee. I think it was like A&P, 8 o'clock coffee.
You know what? I only had one time. My friend Joe's mother. One time in my life. Instant coffee. One time.
Like Taster's Choice, you mean?
Folgers or something, or something. No.
Freeze dried.
Freeze
Remember when
dried.
it came out?
U-Ban. Remember U-Ban?
Oh, I know. I forgot about it till you mentioned it.
Remember dragging that? Only the facts, man. Gina, did you know that Joe Friday never did this? That was Stan Freberg. And Stan Freberg was doing a bit where he said, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. Joe Friday never said that, just like Played Against Sam and all the other stuff. Joe Friday, my friend Mark Barrow in Tampa, is I think one of the naturally funniest person. We used to he could recite all of the Joe Friday speeches. True story about Mark Barrow. Mark Barrow, for the longest time, he was on WFLA. He was a radio announcer. He was a highlight. He called highlight at the time, and he had either diabetes or something. And he was blind. I mean, blind. And he's married to I'm sure still is, to a lovely black woman, and you'll find out why that's important. So anyway, they did some kind of surgery. He's in this room. They're taking the bandages off. This is almost like Hollywood. And they're taking her, and there's doctors that there, does this work for this kind of laser surgery for, diabetes or retinopathy or whatever it is. And they take it off, and he's there, and his wife is there. And they said, Mark, everybody's here, your family, your wife. And he turns to his wife and he says, "You're black?" It was the funniest moment. She goes, "Oh, Mark, please." When you think about it, these doctors were thinking, what is going on? Do you understand how funny that is? Life doesn't give you, it's genius. It's absolute genius. And they're looking at me.
I think you're a genius.
Well, not, I must have been. How do I kiss you with this
These glasses.
All right, my friends.
Well, you know what? The best music did come out. Those theme songs of a lot of those 70s and even 80s, even 90s.
You know why they don't have theme songs now? Because it was still advertising time. Now it's dong dong. What's that? That's what NYPD booth. Dong dong. That's the song. And the old ones, half of the show was up. Here's the story of a lovely lady. Come on, let's go. And there was Jerry who married Mary, and then World War II. And enough. Come on, let's go with this song. And then there were these long Gilligan's Island, and
don't have those kind of songs.
Remember Gilligan's Island when they went from the movie star and the rest? Wait a minute. This was the first time. And the rest? And then they switched to the Professor and Mary Ann. Remember? It was and the rest.
Well, they changed that.
How did do they have agents? And the rest? In fact, Dawn Wells, who used to live in Madeira Beach, used to come to WFLA. And I said, I got to ask you this question about and the rest. What are you, the rest? That annoyed me as a child. And he said, remember asking yourself this question, why can't they get off? Why can't the professor make a transmitter? Why?
Honey, there'd be no more show.
Ida Lupino found it.
There'd be no Sherwood Schwartz.
Carla, the cooking CEO, we love you immensely. Thank you so much.
Carla's coming to New York to see the show.
We're gonna shut down 30 seconds, right?
30 seconds, honey.
Between Park and Med. Nelson A, thank you so much. Bridget Szymanski, George Lenz, thank you. Tony Dash, Pilgrim Media, Cut Up Chatter. What a day. Well, this is almost it, my friends. We are almost done with this thing called...
Isn't it exciting? 2025.
2025 is here. And it's going to be a great year. And you know why? Because let me tell you something. Because this president, and I can't believe I'm even seeing this, but this president is going to destroy these people. There's going to be a bump in the road. Great. That's what shock absorbers are for. There's going to be some rough patches. Great. That's what moisturizer is for. We're not giving up. We fought like mad to get to where we are. Imagine somebody tuning in right now, just right this moment. They're saying, what the hell is this? What is this?
It is New Year's Eve.
What is this guy talking about? He's blind, he's black.
But you know what? We really do have to thank everybody. These wonderful supporters, wonderful members of the Lionel Nation family, the Lynn's Warriors family, for all of their support, just being here. And being with us.
I know this sounds corny. We're a family, very dysfunctional family. People
we're not corny, and more people should be like us and be corny.
You know when people say, "Well, you know, we got to go home because we got the show at 7." You do a show on what? They make it sound like it's so fast. It's on YouTube. Do people watch? No, I just talk to myself. No, there's nobody watch. Yes, people watch. What channel is it? I said, look, forget it. No, I want to watch. And you have to explain it. And what do you talk about? Oh, God.
Somebody asked you the other day, they said something like, I'm trying to think what it was. How do you write all of your shows? I said, write. We don't write anything.
Right. Right. By the way, have you noticed, do you see this kind of as an Abraham Lincoln kind of hat? Isn't this?
It's a little bit.
It's a weird.
It's a little bit of a. It's a little bit of an.
But there we were the other day, with all this H-1B business. We went right up there on 9th Avenue. Saw our good friend. And he said,
we want to support him.
He said, oh my God. I said, do you have to go? They had everything. Make America great again.
He had a lot of Trump merchandise. Look.
2005, take it. And he said, these people come, and he was so nice. And he had this nice store. And I said, we got to stick together. I thought he was going to cry. Yes. I said, we're here for you.
We're giving him a pep speech.
Oh, yeah. I said, because I said, you make America great. This guy's working his ass off.
Yeah, but you're making America.
Right. Because the rent for this place, he's busting his ass.
I don't even know how many T-shirts and bobbleheads is he selling glasses like this. Really? How does he pay the rent?
I don't know. But in any event, but listen, all kidding aside.
No, we love
thank
everybody.
you. We love you.
So
this is going to be
ending the year and going into the new year.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And I want somehow just
I'm ready.
We have been through such we have kind of like just had each other just to look. Matt says, I thought you were wearing a fez. I can't do it without the fez on. Oh no. One of those obscure Steely Dan songs that but seriously, thank you. Thank you. This is it, my friends. So tonight, try to watch the ball. You can always tape it.
No, I'll tell you what. You got to be there for that countdown. 10,
you can watch
9, 8. No, go to sleep and set the alarm. You got to see it. Then you can go to sleep.
And then you go, okay, fine.
So, it doesn't matter tomorrow. Like, it holds no weight if you watch it tomorrow. You got to do it.
And I don't know what we're going to do in the morning. We'll get together, whatever it is. But thank you. Thank you for following Mrs. Al for Lynn's Warriors.
Thank you very much for that.
And also, who's our friend who was feeling better with her?
Jerry.
Jerry, with your cranial. Jerry, we love you. We're sending you great thoughts, positive energy to you because you remember you're part of the group, part of the family. You are it. You are it. I miss Guy Lombardo. Yep. Please try to see the documentary on Guy Lombardo. You won't.
Oh, that was shockingly
He was
surprising.
a speedboat racer. I mean, he was
a restaurant owner, very multiple businesses.
Absolutely.
But who knew? But we were kids when we used to watch that.
There's Sadie. Is that a great name, Sadie?
Love Sadie.
Is that terrific?
That's a good
name.
See,
Sadie could never like, you could never be a serial killer. Not without picture. You know how some people have pictures? Like if you have a bad picture, that's the one they're going to use. If something happens, like, police are looking for Sadie. People say, oh, let her go. She didn't hurt anybody. I've got more back. Can you imagine this? If this was our picture, police are asking for your help in the location of this couple.
Well, your license alone.
The Bonnie and Clyde of the West Side.
Can you imagine? We get pulled over.
Yeah. Officer, I know what you're thinking, but we're as sober as a judge, which makes no sense if you've known judges like I have. In any event, all right, dear friends, we love you. Have a great and a glorious day.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year,
everybody.
We love you so much. And until next time, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.